FM100 Memphis.com, Chad Pitt. Please welcome to the studio, Alex Band. So excited to have Alex.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You know, it's so weird because when I heard that you were coming in town, it was 2 years ago, where I actually saw you. I was in L.A. for the Grammys, and we weren't in the Staples Center quite yet. We were at the Westwood One Studios.
That's correct.
And you swung by, and it was, I think, a day or two after the tornadoes came through Memphis.
Yes.
And we had you in the studio, and then oddly enough, we had another friend of mine, Corbin Blue from High School Musical, kind of slide in.
I saw him, that's right.
Yeah, slide in while you were performing. And I didn't tell you this, but after you had left, Corbin came over. He's like, that was probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Because
the performance?
The performance, because you did Wherever You Will Go.
Yeah.
He's like, I have that song on my iPod.
All right.
Like, so I was listening to my iPod. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty
Aw,
cool.
that's sweet of him.
So,
I know, and it's crazy. Billboard just did those end-of-decade charts.
Yeah.
And Wherever You Go is the #1 song of the decade for this format for adult top 40.
Not too shabby.
No, and number 5 was the Santana song I had, so.
That's not too shabby.
World domination.
Yeah, doing pretty good.
New decade, new song.
So, like I said, it's been 2 years. What's been going on since then? I mean,
2 years since I saw you, but it's actually, I mean, even when I saw you, I was still in the midst of all the kind of drama. It's been 5 years since I've put out a record.
Wow.
So it was a long time in the making with the solo album. I was with RCA and Clive Davis when I was doing The Calling, and The Calling was I just hired people. It wasn't like really a band, so people kind of got confused by that. And my last name's Band, so that's even more confusing now that I'm a solo artist. But anyway, I got out of that deal. Took about a year to get out of that deal because obviously they didn't really want to let me go. But then I ended up signing with Geffen Interscope, and I made the solo record almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Then Geffen Interscope folded, and before I could even put the record out, and there's all kinds of inner turmoil there because they wanted me to be like doing urban rock and pretty much not do what I do, which works.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Of course, let's change it to make it not work. So then I actually, after that happened, in a year to get out of that deal, I bought the album that I'd made with them, the masters and everything. And my concept at that point, which was last year, was let me make my own label, forget the major label thing. We're in a world now we can do this independently. So, got the funding together, made the label, created everything with my management team, a very powerful management team, and distribution through EMI. And now here I am finally releasing the first single and the album in May. And here in America, I'm independent, EMI distribution. Then the rest of the world, I'm signed with EMI.
So the morals of the story is never give up.
Never give up.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I can't give up because I know nothing different.
Yeah.
My first record deal I was 15, and I've always done this. So I don't know if I could do anything else.
And I mean,
this is what I do.
You have such a distinctive voice on the radio. In fact, I was telling that to our music director. I said, it's one of those voices where when you hear your voice, it's Alex Band. But what still kind of throws me off is that this amazing voice comes from you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean,
no, I'm a tiny guy. Trust me, I know.
I'm not gonna lie, you're a tiny guy. Walking, I'm like, wow, he weighs about as much as one of my legs.
Although my girl is even tinier.
Yeah.
She's really tiny.
So it's just like I said, it's one of those voices where through all those hit songs from wherever you will go and just so on and so forth, where you hear your voice on the air or on the radio, it's you. So it's great that you're doing your own thing now.
Yeah, and the great part is that throughout that kind of turmoil with Geffen Interscope, I did fight to make the album I wanted to make. Mm-hmm. And then in the last year, I was able to add to it even more. So the good thing of the last 5 years in the struggle was that, number one, I've now control everything. I have the freedom I want, and I have a killer record. So I'm excited about that. And I got to make the music video. If you go to alexband.net, you can watch the music video for the first single, which I'll play in a bit. And this was the first video I was able to write myself and put together, like, all the bigwigs at Hollywood. We had, like, the Twilight crew and, like, the director, does all the top TV shows and CSI and Vampire Diaries. So we made this really cool video.
Well, I think I saw the video because it's very Twilight-esque.
It is.
And
it stars my lady.
Yeah. See, I knew I recognized her.
Yeah. I mean, she's a little more scandalous.
Real quick, because when I walked in,
there she is. She's a little more scandalous in the video.
She walked in. I'm like, I know her face.
Yeah,
I know her.
She's wearing very little.
It's all coming together now.
But yeah, no, the song. I mean, I wrote that first single like 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
After I'd seen that, I think it was that movie Underworld, and I was thought the vampire thing was cool, and I was like, how about writing, Wherever You'll Go was obviously very much a love song, and I was like, I want something like that again because that's kind of what I write. But what about having a twist? So I actually wrote that song, the first single Tonight, kind of like a vampire love story.
Yeah.
And then of course now that's the big thing is vampires.
Well, my next question was, and I know your dad's a director. and
horror
directed
Yes.
Puppet Master 2.
All Puppet Masters.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh no, he created Puppet
the whole
Master, Ghoulies, Reanimator. Like I mean,
Nice.
there's tons of. He's made over 400 B movies.
So you have to have a favorite horror movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's one of his.
Yeah, but that's cool. No, that's fine.
I enjoy his movies. They're campy and fun and crazy, and some of them are cool. I mean, the first Puppet Master is still a classic. Reanimator, Ghoulies was awesome. I don't know if you remember. I mean, it was kind of before our time, but like late '80s. Yeah, he knows. he had so much. He had the whole ad campaign for that movie was this toilet and the ghoulie creature coming out of the toilet, and it said, "They'll get you in the end." And it actually was it caused a lot of problems with kids, their parents that were trying to potty to train their kids. And he said back then it was actual mail. Obviously there was no email, and he said he got hundreds of thousands of hate mail from parents saying, my kid won't go anywhere near the toilet because of the ghoulies. But do I have a favorite horror movie? There's a lot. I mean, I like more of like the kind of thriller, like Sixth Sense, that kind of thing. Like I just saw Shutter Island, and that was really cool because it's more of like a psychological thriller.
I was just watching yesterday the trailer for the new Nightmare on Elm Street, which is coming out in April.
Oh, do they do another one?
Yeah, they did. Obviously, Robert Englund has nothing to do with the Freddy character, but
really?
He
still could play him.
I know, right? He's
I'm
good
sure.
without the makeup. And, and I'm just kidding. We love you. And he looks in the movie looks so different, I guess, now with technology the way it is,
right?
And being able to CGI and all this stuff.
You can't that original feel. That first Nightmare on Elm Street is horrifying.
Best, of course.
A lot of Pet Cemetery that scared the
Good
living
stuff.
crap out of me. Have you ever seen the original Pet Cemetery?
I have seen I did.
That the lady that the family member up in the attic that they have to go feed Zelda. Remember that, dude?
It's been a while.
Oh my goodness! Go watch Pet Cemetery for that.
There you go.
Horrifying.
Nice. Good stuff.